Welcome to this final episode of the TR guide to this build, level 28. I'm recording an intro to this video separately because I have been stricken with a bug that I wanted to talk about because I've done a little research and I found out that this is actually a pretty common bug. And as far as I know, there is not a fix to it. And that bug is that I cannot pick up the quest What Goes Up. Now, I've already completed that quest multiple times on both heroic and epic difficulty. Run the whole heroic and epic chain, abandoned everything that I could, and it's still not allowing me to pick it up. I'm just going to show you here, here's the heroic quest giver, and she's telling me to go talk to Sharad, who is the quest giver. And I go over here to Sharad, and you can see he's got the gold chalice with the green check mark, which is a normal indication that, that person's ready to talk to you, but he doesn't want to talk to me. And just going to show you here that I do have the quest completed in my journal. But like I said, I've been asking around and other people have seen this. I suspect that what it was caused from is that the first time I ran it, I think I red boxed it, and I think that screwed up the chain somehow. And like I said, I tried abandoning everything, but it won't actually allow me to abandon What Goes Up itself. It gives me this error. You cannot abandon that quest because it's part of a story arc. So a GM even couldn't help me. I had just had to submit a bug report. So the only way that I can get in this quest is to be grouped with somebody else that actually has the quest. They don't have to be in there with me, but I have to be grouped with them, and then I can step in. So that's one workaround. The only other solution that I've heard people talking about is that you can TR. Epic Reincarnation didn't help going through that LR process. That did not do anything for me. But if you know a solution to this, I'd love to hear about it. So let's talk about gear. I do want to focus on the level 28 gear and a couple of other things too. And so first piece of level 28 gear is the heavy shadow dragon plate armor. I love this armor. Mostly because it has that 30-60 DR, passive 30 DR slash epic, and then 60 DR slash epic when you're below 75% health. It's just so awesome for the tanky style of play, the way that I like to play this tune. And I got it slotted up with power 250 and sapphire of false life 40. I also got the alchemical armor defense ritual on there. That's another bonus +1 AC that lists as a dodge bonus when you're examining your armor class. You can see that I have 2 dodge bonus there. That's from the shield ritual and the armor ritual. Also has ghostly, which is redundant from the Ring of Shadows, and it does have death block, which is really nice. I have death ward, but sometimes it gets dispelled, like in Mark of Death, so it's nice to have that always on. And then Fort 130. Big fort's nice. The Dumathoin's Bracers is another piece of level 28 gear. I've recently slotted that up with a Sapphire of Crushing Waveguard. I didn't have anything in the blue slot for a while, but I figured might as well put something in there, and I didn't have that anywhere else, so that's a nice little addition. Got the Eldritch Resistance Ritual that's done at the Stone of Change, just like the Armor and Shield Ritual that adds +1 stacking bonus to all saving throws. It's got Natural Armor 10, Elemental Resistance 45 resistance to all elements. Really, really awesome item. Sheltering 30 adds 30 to PRR and MRR. Huge. Dexterity 11. And this build, even though it's a heavy armor wearing build, can benefit from a little bit of dexterity. So that's pretty cool too. Let's see. Circle of Malevolence is another level 28 piece of gear. I've got that slotted up with the Golem's Heart. That procs quite a bit. Now, at least as of right now, multiple Golem's Heart do not work together. I think maybe they did when it first came out, but does not now. Also got it slotted up with Sapphire Protection +8. Intimidate 25. This is the highest Intimidate item in the game right now. This is what is a big part of allowing me to get up to the 105 Intimidate, which is really awesome. But even that is not no-fail against all mobs. Even on Epic Elite, I'm failing some Intim checks when I get low rolls against like Epic Elite Fires on Thunder Peak Dragon, Epic Elite Temple of the Deathworm Dragon, um, Epic Elite, Temple of Elemental Evil. Just the trash mobs in that end fight are making their saves, which is kind of ridiculous when I get low rolls. But pretty much everything. Oh, and the Lord of Blades too. If I roll like a 1 or 2 or 3 on my intim check, I can't get him either. So it's not no fail, but it's gonna get virtually everything all the time, and even those tougher epic elite mobs, you're gonna get them most of the time. This has got insight 45% on it. It doesn't really help this build at all. That's just to melee damage. And the melee damage on this build is just, just supplemental. Resistance 12, that's the highest resistance in the game right now from an item. And Vitality 40, extra 40 hit points, very nice. And Insightful Sheltering, so stacks, it's an additional +5 to PRR and MRR. Very nice item that comes out of the Mark of Death raid. Also have the Diamond of Charisma 8 now on the Cloak of Flame, so that's a change for level 28, although the rest of the item is exactly the same. And then the Epic Litany of the Dead. I think this would pretty much be the best trinket to have for this tune right now. I've got it slotted up with Diamond of Intelligence 8 because that helps Spellcraft, and also Strength +8. And what makes this so awesome is just that it has that stacking +2 profane bonus to all ability scores. Very, very nice item. And then it's got the Light of Dawn guard on it too, which is 10 to 60 points of light damage to attackers. The combat bonus, again, because I'm not really doing melee. I mean, I do a lot of melee on this tune, but it's not a mainstay of this build, so that doesn't really do anything for me. Couple other level 28 items. The Death-Egg Runestone. I love this shield for this build. You got the purple slot, which is a big selling point. So I slot it up with Combustion 138 right now. So that's a change from what I have currently posted on my build. My build, I show it posted as Corrosion 138, but I'm playing around with my twists right now, and I'm gonna go over that in just a minute and show you why I have Combustion 138 in there. It's got permanent efficacy 120, or excuse me, 20, and so I don't like to fool around with all those 3-minute +25 pots that you get out of House P. They're really nice, but I'd rather just have the 20 on all the time. That's just me. I don't like to click a bunch of extra things or have to worry about that if I don't have to. So the 20 all on is good enough for me. Insightful Devotion 10. This is a very strong healing tune, so I appreciate that. The Stone Paws, I don't really use wolf form. It's not doing anything here, but can be a valuable shield for a wolf build too. And the Runic Revitalization does work. I have tested it. I guess it didn't work when it first came out, but it does work now, and that gives a 10% chance to proc 100 temporary hit points and 50 temporary spell points. So pretty cool. And then I've got the complete Thunder Forged Scimitar, and so for Tier 1, as I've gone over before, it's got the Glaciation 150, very awesome. And I have a separate level 24 one that just has the Tier 1 150. Then I have a separate level 26 one that I have the Glaciation 150 and the Dwarven Craft Evocation Focus +6 to all Evocation DCs. Totally awesome. And then I have this third level 28 complete version, which also has the 17% universal spell lore. Now, originally I was going to go with the 22% ice lore, but I decided I wanted to be more well-rounded. But either way, it's a solid choice. It'd probably be a more optimum choice to go for the ice lore and then get 17% universal spell lore from like Epic Noxious Embers out of Mark of Death. But I like to play with the Epic Torque at all times. For most casters, that's a situational item, but because of the tanky style of play, I'm constantly benefiting from the Torque, and I just think it's tons of fun, and that's why I use the Torque. It is not an optimum piece of gear to use all the time, but like I said, I think it's lots of fun, and that's what's most important to me. I also have this slotted up with Insightful Charisma 2 that helps with your charisma skills like Intimidate, and it also helps my Energy Burst DC by 1 because I have a higher charisma than intelligence. It uses intelligence or charisma modifier as the save modifier, whichever is higher. I also have the force damage Eldritch Ritual on there. It's just adding an extra point of damage. Very, very nice item slotted up with orange slot, Meridian Fragment. That's a beautiful augment for any caster. Comes out of Fire on Thunder Peak Raid. It decreases the cost of your maximized spells by 6 spell points, and in addition, when you're hit in melee, when you take melee damage, you get a +8 psionic bonus to universal spell power for 20 seconds, and that stacks 3 times. Because this is a tanky style of play, that's constantly proccing, so I'm pretty much always running at the +24 universal spell power boost there. Pretty cool. Love it. I want to talk about some of the other gear. First is that you know this is a more tanky play style, and so you might wonder, well, why am I not using a tower shield? Wouldn't that be better? Well, you might be surprised at the actual benefit from it, at least in this particular gear set. So if we compare the Madstone Aegis, for example, which is a tower shield out of Fall of Truth, you can see that the shield bonus, there's not much difference going on there. 21 versus 19. The damage reduction is the same at 16, but that doesn't matter because we have passive damage reduction 30. And the Madstone Aegis only has a blue slot. And I really like the purple slot, so I can put spell power in there. But let's equip it and look at the difference. So look at my armor class now at 180. I'm going to equip the Aegis, and it actually goes down by 1. So what the heck is that all about? It's because this caps my maximum dex bonus at 2. And so I'm actually benefiting from a few more points of dex with the runestone. So AC is actually higher with the runestone. However, the PRR is 10 higher with the Madstone Aegis. And the MRR is 5 higher. So some benefit from it, but not a big armor class boost, or a much, actually no armor class boost from Tower Shield. So just want to show, compare those two options. And the last thing I want to talk about with the equipment is just to talk about some of the more expendable pieces of gear. Some of the, this is not, I'm not trying to say that this gear set is optimal. This is just what I like to use. But some of the more, easily replaceable pieces would be like, as I mentioned, the Torque. This is not optimal. Epic Noxious Embers would probably be the optimal item to put there. Again, I just love the Torque. I think it's so much fun to play with. That's just a preference. Another highly expendable piece of gear is the Cloak of Flames. I don't really feel like there's just another cloak out there that is just pure win. This has a bunch of goodies on it. Some of them I'm not really benefiting from that much. I mean, Combustion 90, I've got Potency 80 on the boots, so that's only 10 more. I mean, I've got 10 inherent fire resistance. I don't even think that stacks with maybe I am benefiting from that. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I am. The fire went down by 10. Okay, I was thinking that was redundant from something. It's got 2 slots on it, which is really nice. And Height and Awareness 4, that's +4 more to AC. It's got Fire Absorption 20%. That's pretty nice too in the Fire Shield Hot. That's just another guard because of the tanky style play, so that's proccing a lot. But it's just, it's not a must-have piece of gear. It's a very easy piece of gear to get, though. If another nice cloak comes along, I will be replacing that. Another very replaceable piece of gear is the Gauntlets of Immortality. I do like to have strong healing ability, so that is why I go with this. It's got Devotion 120, and then the Touch of Immortality provides an additional +20 competence bonus to the heal skill. The healing lore, 16%, isn't doing anything for me because I've got the universal spell lore on the Scimitar. And it's got a couple slots on it too. So not a bad item, but is definitely replaceable. The Fanged Gloves from Three Barrel Cove is a nice option to consider. The Madstone Boots, or the Halcyon Boots, I would love to get rid of these. The only reason I have this item is because it's the only place I can figure out to get potency from. This has got Potency 80 on it. Everything else, I mean, the Dexterity 8 is redundant, Striding 30 is redundant, and the 2 slots, slots are not at a premium at all. Tons of slots, and anything I would potentially replace this with would probably have some slots on it. The Halcyon Mind, I mean, getting the temporary spell points is, at least 3 items now that are giving me spell points. So this is the torque is by actually at least 4 items. The torque is by far and above the most valuable in that regard. So I'm hoping someday they come out with a potency augment or just another piece of gear that I'd like to use instead. You know, there is the Sage's Ring as an end reward, I think, from what goes up. It has 92 potency, but I just do not want to replace my rings right now. I got their Epic Elite Ring of Shadows, which has permanent 25% displacement, which I love. That's another 5% mischance over blur. So you might think, well, it's just 5%, but I really like to look at it as a more holistic, from a more holistic standpoint. That it's, you know, when you're looking to make a more tanky build, you're looking for every mischance that you can, or every kind of damage mitigation that you can. PRR, AC, displacement, ghostly, dodge, all of those little things add up. And so this is just one more piece of gear that I use to add a little bit more of damage mitigation or mischance. I really like everything else here. You know, the green steel item, I'm down to 1 green steel. That's a relatively new change for me because I more recently decided to go with the Epic Belt of Thoughtful Remembrance. I talked about that in my last video, or in my level 27 video. I really like the exceptional skill bonuses that it gives. Lots of other goodies too, but is something that could potentially be replaced. Alright, well, since I can't get into what goes up on my own, now my challenge is to find a guildie that will group with me so that I can step into the quest. Okay, I found a guildie to let me inside on Epic Elite What Goes Up. Chose this quest because this is one of the most difficult quests in the game to solo on Epic Elite. It is a fun challenge for me, and the end fight, there's so much going on, it really keeps me on my toes. So I was watching the intro that I did for this, and I forgot to mention why I had that combustion 138 slotted up on the shield instead of the corrosion like I do on my build post. And that's because I'm experimenting around with some twists right now, and I'm actually using consecration, and that's from the Divine Crusader. It's a tier 2 twist, and it ticks for fire damage. Like you could see, it's doing about 200 to 240-ish, and it was a really nice addition. I really like it for this playstyle. You know, I usually have a bunch of mobs. Jewel key, yoink. I usually have a bunch of mobs beating on me, and I can cast it every 15 seconds, and it's just some nice additional damage to all the other AoEs that I do. So right now I only have 3 twists going. I have Empyrean Magic, Energy Burst, and then the Consecration. And so I don't have a 4th twist because I don't have enough fate points. I'll need to get a few more past lives to get 1 more fate point so I can open up that 4th slot again. And I'll probably put Cocoon in there. And so that means I may be foregoing actually having the Magister Evocation focus. Now I'll have a 55 Earthquake DC, which is definitely not no fail. I mean, it wasn't before, even with 58, but you know, it's good enough for most mobs. I am definitely not trying to go for no fail DCs on the Earthquake. And really, it's just Shatterkai's assassins are the biggest thing to worry about with if you're doing an Earthquake and you don't have no fail. But Shatterkai assassins don't pose a problem for this build, so it's not important to me to have no fail DCs against them. But with the 55 compared to 58, I'm almost never dropping them on EE, but that's okay. This fight sometimes gives me a problem because these casters keep on wanting to blow out my AoEs, including Earthquake, which is really irritating. But since I don't have Cocoon twisted in right now, I've just replaced it with Cure Serious Wounds. And I went with Cure Serious over Cure Critical because it has a little bit shorter cooldown time. So I'm obviously not going to be invis running this. Going to be pretty much killing everything. My best time, when I first time I tried to solo this, it's quite a while ago. It took me like 2.5 hours, but I spent a lot of time torquing up and a lot of extra time in the end fight because I didn't realize how the fight progresses. And I spent like a half hour DPSing the boss before I realized that his health wasn't going down. So I've actually soloed it several times. My best time is 58 minutes. I'm hoping to beat that today. And I've gotten it down to just using like 3 or 4 pots. And I could do it not using any pots if I wanted to be more patient and just, take the time to torque up. Not sure what was happening there. It seemed like my heals weren't going off. So I'm going to save this shrine. After we clear out the next part, I'll come back and use that after I fight or right before I fight the little mini boss guy. I found this part to be really aggravating when I was first learning it, because I just felt like I was running around and around trying to figure out something to do. And find one thing to do and run around until you find something else to do, but hopefully I won't waste too much time in there today. I'm not going to do the optional wizard guy here, so don't want to open the wizard's quarter up. looking for the harbor guy. There he is. And we're looking for a crest. And then we can get out of here. Hey, there's the crest. That's where we came in at. Let's go use that shrine. A couple of the items that I don't use regularly that I'll be using here is protection from evil, because there are some mobs going up to the end fight that can cast command. I think it's the harpies, but what I've found, and it's really irritating, that they seem to be commanding me even when I have protection from evil going, so we'll see what happens. And then the Widow Weave Cloak, which comes out of the Whisper Doom quest. It's an optional turn-in that you get for turning in like the little goblet and stuff that you find around. There's a collector right outside the quest that takes those items, and it's a rare drop from the turn-in reward for the goblet, and when you're wearing that, it makes you immune to webs, and the webs in the end fight when I'm soloing can be problematic, but won't be an issue with that item. We'll have a shrine coming up right after this. That's kind of close. I have a fun little trick I like to use during the end fight so that I don't have to drink a bunch of pots while I DPS down the pillars. They have a lot of hit points, and so it does take me a while to DPS them down. But what I'll be doing is dragging all the archers on the way to the end fight to the end fight, and I'll actually be just dragging that little army of archers around with me for the first part of the end fight, and they'll be torquing me up, keeping me at hopefully full mana the entire time that I'm beating down the pillars. I love this fight here. There's so many mobs. I decided to be a smart-ass the other night and Epic Elite Temple of Elemental Evil, and I kited just a ridiculous amount of mobs together. And then just was throwing AoEs down to let them all die in it, and it just slowed things down to, almost nothing. And, I had a full health bar, and then suddenly I was dead. And what was funny, and I hadn't seen this before, is even after I was dead, my health bar was still showing as full. And it took, I don't know, 30 seconds or something for it to start slowly going down. So I didn't even realize I was taking damage. Get this display bug sometimes. It shows that pillar sideways there. It's a funny little bug. Oh, there's something else too that you may not have known. I think it's... I missed it already. There's a snowman. Maybe it's coming up still. That's kind of hidden. A little Easter egg. This is the part where I get commanded. Hopefully it won't be an issue. These damn harpies. And I'm helpless. And commanded. Look, I have protection from evil going on right now, and I got commanded. That's such garbage. Yeah, this fight sometimes is an issue for me. I just keep getting commanded over and over. Well, that's when you feel that extra defense. Some of these are empty, some of these will have something in it. I don't know if there's a way to tell. Hey, I got something. And that's what your jeweled keys open. I think it's right here. Yeah, here's the snowman. Right down there. Just hanging out. Might be able to sneak this shrine. No, it'll be okay. So hopefully things go well and won't have to worry about it. These archers are going to keep me torqued up. These pillars aren't vulnerable right away. cloak on now. There we go. There's my little personal army of archers. I'd like to be able to keep them all with me throughout the whole end fight, but you do have to kill trash to advance the end fight, and I'm not sure. I haven't really figured out a good way to differentiate them from the trash that I need to kill. There's one. Now these mages just keep respawning as soon as you kill them, but don't need them casting on me while I'm trying to take down this pillar. Must have lost some archers along the way, because usually at this point I'm fully torqued up. But I still have, well, I have a little bit more than I started this part with. A pretty good amount of archers. That's 2 down, 2 to go. can see that the AoEs that I'm putting on the pillar is going to take care of any melee trash mobs that come close to me. So this part really, you know, it's not hard, it's just obviously takes some time. Slowed down my casting a little bit to try to let my mana bar fill up. I'm up to 2,000 mana now. There's Amskar. Got some casters. I'll drink a cider to help me fill up. So now I gotta kill trash, and like I said, I'm not really sure. You know, maybe it's like the gnolls that I could keep alive. I'll try that. I'll just focus on the orcs, and maybe that'll advance it. I think the gnolls might be from earlier. These guys will keep me torqued up while I kill them, which is kind of cool. at this point, if you try to just DPS the boss, he'll only go down so far, like to about 80% or so, and then he'll keep regenerating. Oh, I guess I could have kept the null up. I think I got that message before the null went down. I think my buffs are running out, yep. I've talked about this before in my videos, that, like, I know that I'm sacrificing some DPS by going with this extra tanky playstyle, but I really like the fact that it allows me to survive in situations that would, be really overwhelming for a lot of builds. And I do lead a lot of raids in my guild, and I really like that I can fill a variety of roles in those raids. I don't have to sit around waiting for a tank or a healer. I can just kind of fill whatever role is needed. So now, I think we're advancing to the part with the shadow bar. Yep. I'm back to water ellie form. Ooh, fragments. Or remnants. This part's so hard to see, especially depending on how you have your display settings. I have a guild who won't even do this quest because he can't see anything. It's so easy to fall off and die. Drink another cider there. Still haven't drank any big pots. But I'm gonna have to soon. Two shadow bar left. Time to drink a big pot. And that's big pot number 2. Alright, now I can take down the boss. don't think I'm going to beat my record of 3 pots, but it'd be close. Why are you not activating Amscar? There he goes. And there's number 3. There he is. Now see where he buggered off to. There he is. Oh, there he is. Now I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and drink one more pot. That's 4. Not bad. Goodbye, Amscar. So that is Epic Elite Solo. What goes up? I'll be surprised if I be my best time. That seemed like it was a little bit long. But we're about to find out. Here you can watch the top of the glacier fly into the mountain. Boom. "54 minutes. Hey, that's my best time. Nice. Hey, thanks for watching. The series was tons of fun. This is a fun challenge to do on Epic Elite. I probably won't do another series until Warlock comes out. I'm planning to do like a Warlock Day 1 series. So I'm going to have to TR this tune to go back to Completionist. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that might come out July 4th. That's the rumor, but don't quote me on that. If you have any questions about my build, you can respond to the DDO forums. If you have any questions about my videos, you can respond on YouTube. And if you happen to be on Sarlona, you are welcome to send me a tell.
Oh, you can ride away. Times and things you cannot ever change, and nothing stays the same. But it's okay.